Yo, what's up everyone? We are back again today for chapter 92 of Hope You're Happy Lemon, and yeah, let's just hop straight into it. To be honest, this chapter has been one of the most pivotal ones in the past, I would say 10 or so. It could even be argued that this chapter holds more weight than most of the other chapters in the series, just because of the contents, right? We're coming off of the last chapter of Kogahara, or Natsumin, whatever you want to call her, spilling the beans on what's going on between her and Tsunao with Lemon. She goes last chapter and says she went on a date, and this is where we pick off this chapter. At first, what happens is Lemon is acting a little surprised, saying, "Oh, did he ask you out?" And Kogahara goes and says, "No, I asked him out." This really shocks her, and this is kind of where Lemon puts together the puzzle pieces of like, her best friend likes Tsunao. Okay. But this was gonna happen sometime in the series. It's happening now. I honestly wish it happened a little sooner, but yeah, I am hopeful for the way that everything is going down right now. It doesn't seem like one girl is favored over the other. Of course, the series title is called Hope You're Happy Lemon, but that could have multiple contexts to what that means. But yeah, after Lemon asks this question, Kogahara goes and starts saying like her reasoning for kind of bringing this whole situation up, or this whole topic up, and that reason was because she saw her go out with Tsunao as well. After that book festival, Lemon was trying to hide what they were doing that day. Tsunao didn't say anything about what went down because he didn't know. He kind of thought it was a date, maybe, not really. But Lemon, she kind of expressed that as a date, and then she hid that from Kogahara. And because Kogahara knows that she wants to be romantically involved with Tsunao, she wants to make sure or just at least confront her friend on the whole ordeal. Kogahara goes and mentions that maybe you went out with him because you have the same feelings that I do, and Lemon goes and confirms that, saying that, yep, that's right. She's kind of taking it a little lightheartedly, but we can see that she is a little distressed here, or I wouldn't say distress is the right word, but Lemon is kind of coming to the terms and trying to accept the fact she's struggling with that they might have fell in love with the same person. Dude. After Lemon says this, Kogahara goes and starts crying, like, okay. But yeah, once she's done, they just keep continuing to talk. For Kogahara, she didn't really know anything about their prior relationship all too much. She knew from, dude, I always forget his name, Tsunao's friend from college. That's the only person that has kind of told Kogahara anything on the situation, but she doesn't really know the details. So I'm assuming that's what we're gonna get later on the next coming chapters, like, as well as a lot of other drama. But she's just kind of relieved to know more of the truth, what's been going on, how Lemon has been feeling. And I do think this kind of is helping her character become less awkward, or less passive, I would say, because the whole time she's kind of been courteous of Lemon and Tsunao's relationship. Of course, she's still going to be, and that's probably gonna take some more time for her to like warm up a little bit more. But so far in the story, she's kind of just taking like a passive backseat role when it comes to her experiences in love, I guess. But at the same time, she's also saying how it is kind of sad that, you know, things won't stay as they were before because they're kind of fighting for the same man. Okay, but yeah, honestly, I do think this is a good way for the series to go. I'll put it this way. I really wanted the series to go in a direction like this. From the last few chapters, I was starting to get more doomer about it. I thought that Lemon was just going to kind of not push Kogahara to the side, but I thought she was going to be, because she was acting really aggressive, especially when Tsunao got sick, went over to his place, and like, that was when she was like, ooh, I'm gonna make him like me. I asked him out on a date, all that stuff, and I'm not gonna give up liking him. And that kind of made me feel like Kogahara really stood no chance. But apparently that, or hopefully that's not the case, and we really get to see this story go on for longer. I could see a story where that wasn't the case and we just get a little bit of a tense moment if the story was going to be a lot shorter. But I am hoping that the series at least is around 200 chapters, 200 plus, and that's kind of why I'm holding out hope for the longer term, longer run. And I really just want to see more drama added into the story, because I feel like the message here is a pretty good one. It's something that we haven't seen in a lot of stories. But yeah, but basically the rest of the chapter is just Lemon comforting Kogahara, saying, oh, everything's gonna be okay. She's just really acting very lighthearted towards this whole situation. I think this is like a way for her to, I wouldn't say cope, with reality, but kind of at least just put on a brave face, saying everything's gonna be fine, everything's gonna stay the same, and just joking about the situation, saying that they're gonna be love rivals. Kogohara is trying to take this whole thing seriously because she's never fallen in love, I guess, and she doesn't want to fight with her best friend on this type of situation. But because of that point in her personality, I think that she might not stand the best chance when it comes to things. Who knows? Hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, this chapter is basically Kogohara confessing her feelings, or not confessing her feelings, more like laying things out on the table and putting down everything that she's been thinking for basically the whole series so far. She does go and say a good message, reading, "I thought that because I sort of knew how you felt, I didn't want to keep all of this a secret from you and get closer to Akiyoshi behind your back." And then she goes and rambles, whatever. But yeah, even though Lemon is kind of putting on a brave face here after she hears everything that Kogohara is saying, at the end of the day, Lemon has been looking up to Kogohara as kind of a role model, someone to strive to be. And yeah, I mean, it's just like Lemon wants to be like her, and I guess in her eyes, she just falls short every time. Even when it comes to something like this, Lemon the whole time, she was hiding the truth from Kogohara, but Kogohara wants to confront it. And yeah, it's just a very kind of, I don't know how to describe type of story, bro. It's like Lemon is very low self-confidence, kind of, and I wouldn't say Kogohara is like, has like major self-confidence, but she's trying, at least Kogohara is trying to make everything right and do it in her own kind of way of justice or sense of well-being. I wouldn't say Lemon is using underhanded tactics or anything, but she is being more selfish, but she realizes this and doesn't want to be like that, and she wants to change, and she's just kind of been modeling Kogohara, who's kind of just become her best friend, but now they're stuck in this situation where they like the same person. Lemon says all of this in her head. She's not saying this out loud, which is partially part of the problem with her character and something that needs to be addressed in the series, something that needs to be worked on. But yeah, she ends off saying that, "I'm really glad that you're my rival. That's how I really feel." And yeah, whatever, Kogohara gets hungry. That's the end of the chapter. But yeah, so for my personal thoughts and like closing remarks on this chapter and going forward with the series, I think that Lemon does not need to win, at least at first, right? We've clearly seen throughout all of the chapters that she has things that she needs to work on her own, right? She has things in her character that she literally says, "Hey, I want to be better doing this. I want to be better socializing. I want to be better dealing with people. I want to be better confronting my feelings." And it really, to me, just would not make sense, especially the way that she broke up with Sunao, to just be like super selfish right now and get back together with him and then just kind of cut Kogohara out of the series. It's not really fair to her, it's not fair to Sunao, and it's not fair to Kogohara. At least in my opinion, mostly to Sunao, I would say, because for his character, we're at like kind of a weird point where it's like he's been slowly kind of realizing over the last 20 chapters or so that Lemon has been getting closer to him, like weirdly closer to him. I mean, he's been noticing it throughout the entire series, but kind of recently he's been saying like, "Oh, does she like me? Does she like how she really feel?" And like throughout these chapters, we've been getting weird flashbacks of him like reminiscing on the past with her, especially after Lemon told him why she broke up with him and that none of it was real. Of course, he never thought it was really real in the first place and that she had her own things going on, but this is kind of getting his heart to waver, I guess. It's not the worst thing because I guess there's no really other way to incorporate a Lemon back into the series without having fond memories, but I just don't really like the way that Sunao has been like kind of acting on those, especially when he's like, "Oh, I'm in love with Kogohara right now," and then goes on a date with her and then starts thinking about Lemon. I guess it's not unrealistic, but it's not what I wanted to see in the first place. So yeah, I really think that if they're gonna like do a thing where Sunao gets together with one of them temporarily or starts to build a closer relationship with one of them, I assume it's going to be Kogohara, and then we're gonna get some drama, tension, and something's gonna happen. I don't really know. Right now, I really like the message that the story is bringing, but where do we really go from here? I would not like to see some harem polygamous relationship here. But because of that, there's going to have to be some type of loser. And right now, I just don't know. I can't really see a good way that we can make one of these girls lose. That's not gonna piss people off. But yeah, if you guys have any thoughts and opinions on Lemon, or you want to see me cover any other series, please let me know in the comment section. And yeah, that's really about it. So I'll see y'all.